Rob was early and often here in this one.
Yeah.
Rob was active. 12 boards. I mean, he was getting up there. I mean, he was. They were looking for him. I think Jalen had a nice lob to him, and he was getting up above the rim. And he looks more like. I think we're seeing more games like that from him than we did for a long stretch to start this season. So I'm
41 minutes again.
Yeah, a lot of minutes for sure.
And you're playing against a team that's got two bigs that you've got to contend with to some extent. And I know Sabonis got 20-something rebounds, but I mean again when
23.
When each
but
team
he didn't score.
When each team shoots sub 40%, there's going to be a lot of rebounds to be had.
I feel like Ime squeezed the juice out of those Ennis minutes, right? Like he got the best out of Ennis that you're going to get. Was that 7 minutes he played?
6 points in 7 minutes. That's and a couple offensive rebounds. You're not going to get him to be more productive than he was in that short stint, and they needed that. They absolutely needed that.
Yeah. But Horford was rough again, and so Rob had to play big minutes. I get.
But you saw the difference between Rob and Sabonis, though, right? Like Sabonis is just like a polished big man. Like his passing is unbelievable. Like
he's an all-star, Jimmy.
I know, but people have very high expectations for Rob, especially somebody in this video right now. And I just want to make sure that you guys see the major difference.
I don't have Sabonis as a comp because he's a bit more of a bulldog. He's also an excellent passer.
Unbelievable passer, savvy,
more physical. He's also not going to affect the game defensively like Rob is. It's just not going to happen. So
he's a better offensive player.
He's obviously a better offensive player, and he's an excellent passer. Rob is also, I think, on a par with him in terms of passing ability.
No, he's not on par with him. Not even. No. Nope.
Sure he is.
No, Sabonis is
sure, he just doesn't have the ball in his hands enough. But Rob's an outstanding passer.
Because he's not as good. Because he can't handle the balls. Because he can't handle the ball as well. It's not close.
But you think Sabonis had a better game than Rob tonight? You're wrong.
I'm not saying he had.
I'm just saying.
I think Sabonis had a great game.
Take that, Jimmy.
I'm just saying if
offensively, no, because I think Rob definitely
was more impactful than Sabonis
on the defensive end. I'm not going to even.
Period.
I think altogether. I mean,
overall,
Sabonis may have had more rebounds, but Rob had a bigger impact in this game.
Yeah, but Sabonis does things well. It was
he does,
close.
Jimmy. We know that.
He just didn't do things well in this game, and a lot of that had to do with the guy that was guarding him. Rob.
If we're even pretending to compare Rob to somebody of Sabonis's character, that means he's already arrived. The fact that he's in that conversation, would be. I'm saying that would be a compliment. Tonight, Rob outplayed Sabonis. Sabonis is an all-star.
Yeah, he did.
So this isn't the night to make this point, Jimmy. I agree with you.
I'm not making the point.
Rob's not
tonight.
Sabonis. Yeah.
But I did there. If you watch the game, you did see moments where Sabonis was like, "Wow, like he's definitely a very talented player. He can handle the ball. His passing is definitely better than Rob's, even though Rob is a good passer."
The guy you ultimately want was on the other side tonight. Did you guys see some of the stuff Domantas Sabonis was doing out there from a passing standpoint?
Thank you, Bobby. Welcome to the show, Bobby. I'm glad to have you.
He is phenomenal. What do you have, 10 assists?
He had a triple-double tonight.
He was triple-double.
And a couple guys blew it for him on some beautiful passes. He was just electric, and that's the kind of guy.
He's a good ball player, man.
Bobby, imagine him with Tatum and Brown. Imagine Sabonis.
If you put him with Tatum and Brown, boom, mystery solved. That's what's gonna glue.
You're not putting him with Tatum and Brown.
Playmaking,
You're trading Jaylen Brown for him if you want him.
It's 2022, and it's 11:30. No, we're not doing this right now.
You're gonna put Rob in the best position to be a trade piece by the end of the year. You're gonna amass all your future picks because they're useless. You need to get a guy in here now who can help Brown and Tatum. So you're gonna amass as many picks.
Yeah, but I don't think Sabonis is the guy. But I see what you're saying, though. I see what you're saying.
And then you send Smart over too, because they're trying to do a soft rebuild. Smart's the guy who helps them, and rather than a tanking team who doesn't want Smart at all.
Okay, that's great. You can't get Sabonis. Not unless you give up Jalen. You can't get Sabonis.
Yeah, no, there's no way.
Can't.
Why not?
You can't. Because you can't. Because the Pacers aren't stupid.
Because Robert Williams isn't Sabonis.
They might be.
Because the other teams aren't stupid. They're not.
What if Rob plays What if Rob plays like this the rest of the way?
John, you had a debate with me earlier in this show that Rob was by far the better player tonight and all this stuff.
He was defensively. He was.
So he obviously has the skill and he's on the rise.
Doesn't matter. They're one an all-star for an all-star. They're not trading him for a.
You've said that Rob has all-star capabilities and possible defensive player of the year capabilities.
I mean, we can do this, Jimmy, but the reality is they're not trading for Rob, because the whole point of our conversation was if we're even talking about Rob on Sabonis's level, then Rob's arrived. He's not on Sabonis's level. That's how we started.
He's not. That's why you have to add
We
picks.
don't even think
That's
that.
why you have
What do
to
you
add
think?
Smart. Like,
not going to happen.
It's not a 1-for-1 trade, obviously.
No, it's a bunch of picks.
Right, but he would be
some
the
other young guys.
It's none of that. It's none of that. You
He'd
could
be the
give them.
centerpiece.
You could tell them. You could tell
Well,
the
what's
Pacers.
the point of trading Brown for Sabonis?
There's no point. The point is stop talking about Sabonis unless you're going to offer Brown. That's the point. Just if you tell the Pacers, if you start the conversation with the Pacers by saying we want Sabonis, you can have anybody but Jalen. They just hang up. They just hang up. They're like, we want nothing else you have.
Right now,
you can offer them all of it. They want none of it.
Right now, but you up the picks. You got guys that's playing better by the end of the year. You focus on some development here, and maybe you have some guys that look better to them. And again,
Bobby, this is what you're.
But
Bobby, this is what you're. I think you're ignoring. You have the best player in the deal right now, unless it's Jaylen Brown. If you're Indiana, and if you've got the best player in the deal, why are you going to get rid of him when you're not going to get a comparable player of significance in return? You're giving up a young all-star in Sabonis for you to do that deal for a guy who might be an all-star versus a guy like Jalen who is a
no. There's a chance they trade Turner
and Miles Turner standing there like, really, guys?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, you could trade in Turner instead. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and if you're talking about Turner, that's something that I think Indiana. When you talk about the spare pieces that the Celtics have not named Jaylen Brown,
yeah,
you might be able to
I'm
get
not as interested.
Yeah,
that's where the conversation begins and ends. If you're Indiana, that's the problem.
Exactly.
Well, but
it's like deja vu.
Indiana's going nowhere either.
Kind of stuck with that.
We had this in 2020. We had this exact same conversation.
Indiana's not going
Just
anywhere
wait.
either.
Just wait. Warned us not to do this. He warned us not to do this.
About 7 minutes ago.
No, you got to do it. I mean, we can do it. We can do it a little more on Wednesday because they're playing the Pacers again. But listen, these are two teams that I think, looking at where they are perfectly aligned to make a deal. Let's say they really, really drill a hard bargain and say, we'll give you some extra stuff here to get Brown with Sabonis. So maybe you end up with Brogdon and Sabonis in a deal like this. You send back Brown and Smart. Then all of a sudden it's kind of this mega deal where both teams kind of swap their middle parts there. That's a tricky one to swallow if you're Boston, because I do think the value of Sabonis is that he connects the Jays there. But you do end up getting a pretty high-level point guard in Brogdon back in that kind of deal. So that's one that intrigues me when it comes to Brown deals. Again, I'm not a guy who wants to trade Brown.
I hate that one.
Seeing
like
what he did out there
as a
tonight,
Pacers guy, I like that one.
Seeing what he did out there tonight.
You like it for your Pacers.
I'm not in the camp of trading Brown. I'm nowhere close even. But that is one construction deal that I think could make some sense for both teams. I mean, again, Indiana's trying to do a soft rebuild here. They're not trying to blow it up. They're trying to change out some parts here. That's sort of what Boston's looking at trying to do too here. So these teams, even if it's in a bigger deal with multiple teams, could really make something happen here. And I think that's the only path that there is to Boston making a significant franchise-changing deal in the offseason. Now, none of this is going to happen by the deadline. That's why I advocate just kind of seeing the different pieces you have to be able to.
I know. Just wish you did it last year. Wish you did it in an
we screamed about it last year.
Yeah. In an obviously lost season last year.
Totally.
It's a disease. I don't know. It's endemic right now in this team.
I still think that Hayward swap was a miss. I don't care. I'm holding on to that.
Clearly,
Hayward for Turner and Dougie McBuckets. I still think you make that
clearly because that became Fournier and it became Richardson and then it became a TPE. And
it's going to become a second round pick.
I still don't like Turner.
The conversion went all the way.
Turner's not great, man.
I don't like Turner at all. Did you even
know
he's not out
great.
there tonight?
No, I forgot, and I was looking at he was out for a spell, then he checked in late for defensive purposes. Like his offensive
that's exactly
game,
what I said at that time.
His offensive game never developed. I mean, he's leading the league in blocks though, right?
Yeah, he's a great defender. He just has no role in that
offense.
But
the idea of him being a stretch guy and being able to shoot threes consistently just never fully materialized.
And he have a shooter.
Yeah. He's just not that guy. He likes to shoot. He's just not a shooter.
Right.
He's a shot chucker. Let's be honest. That's who he is.
So he steps out back there. And again, it's a respectable amount. 35% from 3 this year. It's not terrible. He's just not outstanding at anything offensively. And he's kind of got like klutzy Rob hands sometimes too, you know? So
he'd be good in another situation. I think of him in Charlotte as a dream. The Knicks have certainly been showing interest in him, as reports showed today. And there's teams that I think would like to take a flyer on him, but nobody's knocking down Indiana's doors to take him. So they're in a tricky spot where, yeah, they'd rather probably start this rebuild by trading Turner and keeping Sabonis, but I don't think they get a lot for Turner. I mean, they've been trying to trade him for years, it seems like, and no one really wants him. So at that point, do they open their ears a little bit to making Sabonis available and going forward with Turner? That might be something that they have to consider there. And I don't know how many teams have blown down their doors for Sabonis either, honestly. Like, there's a few. Golden State could walk down that road. They're certainly got the most to offer. I can think of a few others there, but I do think Boston would be kind of the front of the line in terms of teams that he makes sense with. So, again, keep an open mind to that.